Galloway is a construction manager and consultant, commercial and residential builder, and a certified inspector for all commercial and residential buildings. And now, here is About the House with Troy Galloway.
Well, folks, welcome back to About the House. I am so happy that everybody got to join us again today. We got us a great show today, and today we're going to kind of twist it up. We don't have any guests, and we're just going to be following up like we did. We had one show called Construction Crazies. We have Construction Crazies Part 2. And what that is just what I just have seen on the job myself that is literally crazy, ridiculous, or just half-done stuff. It's amazing what we find out there. Oh, let me tell you a little bit about Galloway Building Services. That's the name of my company, and I am the owner of Galloway Building Services. And we are as you can see real quick, we are a full construction inspection company. We not only do inspections for new homes, used homes if you're buying or selling, we do a lot of commercial work and also commercial construction work. So you're going to see a little bit of all of that in here, residential and commercial. We also do expert witnessing in the court. So if you get a construction job you don't think is done right, you give us a call. We'll take care. We come over there, take a look at it. Now, sometimes it is done right. You get bad news, but at least you know the truth. I don't do the work any longer, but I have been a builder for 40-some years. We just do a little bit on the side now, and so that is pretty much how Galloway Building Services is. And I want to get onto the show because it is absolutely a fun show, and I just love these construction crazies because they're just, I could just do one of these almost every week. I have thousands of these nutty things that we run across all the time. But let me get started, quit talking about it, and let's get on it. Construction Crazies Part 2. And let's move over to gutters first thing. And gutters, so I used to think, what can you be construction crazy about gutters? Well, amazingly enough, we have it. So here we go. First one, gutters. Now here you go. Look here. Somebody literally forgot to put any screws to put this together. They didn't even all they did was slide it together and prayed. I hope they prayed, but apparently they didn't pray long enough, right? Look at this. How in the world can you do this and have it hanging like that? And now it's just falling off the wall. This is a commercial job, so and really not far from where we're sitting right now. And but the next one's even. Okay, all right, we'll just get to it because you're not going to believe this. Here you go. Oh, I got my beer can. Now, am I hiding my beer can in the gutter, downspout? Or am I trying to slow down the flow of water? This is hilarious. I saw this actually down in a commercial project again, and this was on a storage units. And actually, I'm not for sure what was happening there, but we had some people living in there that wasn't supposed to be living in the storage units. I guess that's common in some parts of the country. But look at it, a can stuck in there. I don't know what to say about that. I guess it was empty. I didn't check. I should have, huh? So a beer can and the downspout. Everybody's got to have one of them. So let's move on to the next one. This is a good one too. And this was, and you've seen me talk about this before on other ones. This is a commercial project. This is actually on the roof and where the water runs down to their hidden gutter, which then goes out to the side. And you can see they literally, this is just one of the many of the pictures. They have trees growing in them. Trees. Now, I guess that's a great spot because they literally have lots of water, getting well watered and everything, but I don't think that's really going to be really conducive to allowing water flow, right? And it's not even a fun plant, It's just a regular old plant. So it's just, we see a lot of times plants and stuff growing in it, but this just happened to be one that I just thought was hilarious. And the people that was buying the building, they might not have thought it was as funny as I did, but they did get a chuckle out of it. And then they got out there and cleaned it up. So this is what you get, and this is some of the nutty stuff we find. All right, so let's move on down to some more nutty stuff, and we're going to go into exteriors. And what can you find out there that's nutty stuff on exteriors? Well, we're going to find out. This is just a few of the crazies. So let's move on down here. And now, look here. What is this? What is this sticking out of the wall here? Now, I got to ask, is that a birdhouse or is that an exhaust pipe somebody forgot to finish? But I guarantee you, so when I got into this one, that's why I say birdhouse, because actually should have called it a bat house. I got into it and I got around this section right in here and I was just looking at my flashlight and bigger, as sure as can be, these old bats started flying up out of there. And I didn't realize that it was illegal to kill a bat. So don't let nobody catch you. But where I was at, I didn't have any choice. I don't know that I killed them, but I sure was trying to get them away from me as they was coming out. But come on, man. Oh, if I may, that's so funny. If I may use a president's term, come on, man. So anyway, that is just hilarious. I thought that, what are you doing? You intentionally making a birdhouse? Yep, they intentionally making a birdhouse. So let's move on down to some more of these because we got a whole bunch more of these to look at. Now, here's one, and I guess what we decided, I wasn't for sure when I first looked at that. Is that mushrooms growing in there? What is that in there? Is that an old rag? Because you know how many times we see an old rag stuck in there. We'll talk about that a little bit. But no, this is actually somebody filled it up with, I don't even, in this case here, they filled it up with insulation, foam insulation. And of course, they didn't use exterior, which in this case, exterior foam rated, which in this case is a good thing because it literally was, at least it's deteriorating. But it's an exhaust. There's nothing coming out of it anymore. So they literally blocked it off. I don't know where that's going after that, but that's not good. I mean, that's insane. Okay, well, let's do this one then. Now, here's a good one. They did try to block it off, and once again, they used interior foam rated material. I don't understand why they don't look at the box or the bottle that or the canister that this foam comes in. It says whether it's exterior or interior. How do you know? Well, if it's deteriorating like this, then you know that you got the wrong material. But at least they tried, right? They tried to do something about it, and so we give them hats off for that. Now, let's do this one here. Now, where I'm at, this is not so common. Maybe in California and the West Coast, we got people living in, I was doing this inspection, this is an apartment building. And literally people are living in between the buildings. The poor people couldn't live in between in the apartment, so they literally, and I'm not making fun of them, I surely ain't, God bless them. You know, it was a safe spot for them and out of the elements pretty much because it was between these two buildings. But look at that, you know, I don't know that this is a crazy, for us it is. In the Midwest, we just don't see it like this, but it's getting more and more, but there you go. You got us a campground right there between the two buildings. You know, well, you can't make it up. Can't make it up. All right, here you go. I love this one right here. So what we did is we put I was wondering, did we move the wires out of my exhaust fan so the birds could build their nest and not get electrocuted? Or did the birds actually smart enough to move the wires out and make sure that they wasn't getting electrocuted so they could build their nest? I don't know. But what I do know is that that ain't even safe. That will shock the crap out of you. You grab a hold of that at the wrong time. So look at that. That is it. So I don't know, bird or man. Either I'm going to give it to the birds because I think the birds are a little smarter than the person that did this. I'm going to give them the credit. So there you go. Bird house and wiring in the exhaust fan. Now here's a good one. Here's a good one. So we got these. So we got this crack going right up through this here. This is all one building actually. And what happened is that the mortar started falling out. So what we did is we just kind of patched it up with a little bit of mortar. But why in the world don't you go ahead and just finish it? Really? Just finish putting it up here together so as that no moisture or anything get into it? Friday night? I don't know. Maybe just we run out of mortar. I have no idea. But animals, critters, bugs, everything gets inside of this. And it's just and they literally left it like this, calling it done. I don't think I'd want to pay for that, do you? This is it, not me. But, oh, you're going to love this next one. This is a good one here. All right, so here's another one. How far can I put my finger through this brand new wood? No, I'm serious. This is what they told their customer. They put these windows in, and the customer called me and said, I'm thinking this trim around here is just not right. It don't look new, and it doesn't appear to be right. So anyway, I went over and I tested. I put my finger in. Honestly, I probably could have put my finger even further through it, but I was scared I was going to reach to the inside of the building if I continued. No kidding. This is you can see that was me. See my poor thumb right there. That's what happens when a carpenter's not as sharp as he used to be, and he hit the wrong nail. Them nails don't hold anything. Remember that, all you apprentices. These nails right here, don't hit them. They don't hold nothing. So am I making fun of, in this case, am I making fun of the rotted wood, or am I making fun of that poor soul with that poor thumb? I'll make fun of that poor soul with the thumb. He knows better than that. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Well, can you imagine that you're growing? I know we got landscaping, but I bet you can't buy this. I bet you can't find anybody in town that can actually do as good a job as this one. Literally growing up, and I wanted to get the pictures to the inside of the house. Literally growing through the wall into the house. You're going to see the next picture just to show this. Just how crazy it is. But it's going right through the window, everything. Look, see that? It's going right into the window. Do you think they could have noticed that? There you go. And how many animals do you think live in that? You know, that's actually, so them roots up. They're going right up inside, up underneath the roof, up underneath the siding. You know, so when you're going to pull that down, it's not only has it got penetrated all the way through the house, you know, it's literally growing in the house right there. So there it is. I don't know what to say about it. Hey, but the mice, the squirrels, and the birds, they all love it. So I guess you're just a good neighbor for helping them. All right, well, let's just move on to see what else we could find. Now, I didn't do a whole lot on roofs this time, but because you could just find so many crazies on the roof. But I wanted to share with this one here because I thought this was on a commercial building, actually a Jack-in-the-Box building that we inspected. Look at that. They literally have an in-ground swimming pool on their roof. Yep, in-ground swimming pool on their roof. One thing about it, just to go show how good a roofing job it wasn't leaking, and so they never knew. But what happened honestly, see that right there? That's my drain. It was clogged up, holding water. But you know, so it's something you want to watch for. But really, nobody paid any attention, and there it is, right there. And then you can see I got a vent right there. So what's happening is the only reason that water's not higher is because it's going up and down into my stack pipe. They don't got the stack pipe anymore, lifted any higher than that, and the water's draining right down the stack pipe, right down the drain. Unbelievable. There you go. In-ground swimming pool on top of the house. You can't. I bet most people can't afford something like that. You think? I got a feeling most people don't want to afford anything like that. All right, so let's move on down to the next one. And so we got some crazies here in plumbing. Oh. Now, some of these are just hilarious. Some of them are silly. Some of them I don't even know how anybody could have screwed up so bad. But here we go on the first one. Look here. You can see they soldered it, but I don't know what they soldered it with. Bubble gum, maybe? I don't know. But it literally popped off, and it was just like that. So every time but that's why we turned the handle off. That's why we turned the water off, so as it literally wouldn't go out all over the floor. Lord knows we shouldn't actually solder the thing back together. No, sir, we shouldn't do that. We should just turn the water off and pray nobody turns it back on. I found this like this, and they thought that was just fine. You know, this buyer or the seller of the building thought, well, this was my handyman done it. Handymen are not that dumb. There's a lot of smart handymen out there. But at least he turned it off. So I guess he's got more going for him than some of the jokers we see out there on the street. And here you go. Look here. Oh, hey, that's what baling wire is for right there. So I could tie my stack pipes up together. That don't ever rust out or give out right through there. See that, my baling wire? We see baling wire and stuff like this all of the time on our pipes. It is hilariously insane, but people do it, and they're not going to ever stop, apparently. And they really honestly think this was done by a maintenance man of this, and actually this was a daycare center, a big daycare center here in town that we inspected, and they thought that was going. Do you think that baling wire is actually going to hold that heavy cast? You know, for one. But there it is, and I think I'd be more worried about some of them leaks that I see, like over in here, before I'd be worrying about my baling wire. I think we get it all fixed up, but there it is, baling wire. Like I said, we see it all the time, all the time. Oh, you're gonna like this one. Honestly, you don't think that's going? What do you think? Real quick poll. Hit likes and just if you would give me your opinion of what you think's happening right here. What happened? I would love your comments. We would love to have feedback. But look here, do you think that? Look at this bowl. This pipe is big enough to catch any of their overflow. But no, we're not going to do that. That don't make any sense. We're just going to put it over here to run on the floor. But hopefully this cutter here, this backyard mosquito spray, will keep it. That'll fix it. That'll fix it all right. I mean, come on. Do you not? How do you not see that? How do you not see that? Once again, claim to be done by somebody who knows what they're doing. That's why you need to have a construction inspection before your stuff water's all over the floor. All right, well, here you go. Here is some more handy dandy plumbing. Right here, look at that. Now, who didn't have the foresight to actually know that that valve is supposed to go past the tile? Who in the world wasn't thinking? This was not done by a professional plumber. I don't know who did this. Honestly, when I did this inspection, nobody took credit for it. Who did? And I don't blame them. I wouldn't take credit for that either. I think I'd be embarrassed. But look at that. Do you think any water's getting in behind that or down and around it? And this one here, believe it or not, this was on a fitness gym out in our county here that we're at. And so, and you see they didn't, it wasn't just this one, they did it on this one here, they did it on several of them. I just took one picture of it just to share with everybody. But yeah, wishing us not shim that out. Hey, nobody paid us to think, huh? Is that right? No, shush. Yeah, sad. All right. Oh, and I do these regularly. And I think you might have saw this on some other of our videos and such. And we call this the walking dishwasher. Why is it walking? Well, it's not secured. See that? It's not secured anywhere through there. And so when it turns on, when they're operating it, that literally will walk out of the opening. And that's how I found it, just like this, walking out. I turned it on to test it, and I came back, and there it is. I'm thinking, oh no, I'm hoping that the pipes down there didn't move or anything was hard down there. Hard line would be busting. Luckily, that didn't happen in this case, but that's exactly what happens. But the walking dishwasher, I hope that they didn't pay too much for that. You know what it would have taken? 2 screws. 2 screws. And that would have helped a tremendous. But, yeah, let's not think. All right, well, that's just a few of our plumbing crazies that we do. We're going to move on in here and do some more here for you folks here. And let's see what we got here. Basements. Here you go. Now, I inspected this job because they said that it was done right, and the people, they paid thousands and thousands of dollars. These are actually from friends of mine, and when they see this video, they're going to know exactly. I can't say who it was, but they paid good money to get this done. And look, this is they put an underground drain system in through here, and see how it's cracking? See, it's already breaking, and you're going to find out why right here. That this is already cracking up and breaking up. And this is what you get when that happens. Right there. See that? See how thick that is, that concrete? They just barely put enough concrete to cover over it. And then they didn't put my drain tile. That's drain tile right there. And so when the moisture comes into it, drains it, and goes into a sump pump, well, what do you think that's doing? And now they got a mess. And they paid thousands of dollars. And this contractor saying that job was done right and trying to blame the homeowners. I don't know what kind of crazy excuse he used for the homeowners. But how do you test that? How do you test? I should do this. A little disclaimer. I know we're on the crazies, but how do you test it? After it's dry enough that you can walk on it, go over there and step on it. If indeed you fail flexibility in the concrete, Naturally, you shouldn't. Then you know you're right on top of the drain tile. You see some other videos that we've talked about this, so we're not going to get deep into that. But yeah, this is the insanity of poor workmanship. I don't know. And to argue that was right. Anyway, we'll see what the jury says because they'll probably be getting in trouble for this one. All right, let's move on to the next set of one we got here. We're going to move into, that's all I really put in for basements this time. And when we do some more, we'll get some more put in here. Electrical. Now, electrical is not, it's kind of a combination. Yeah, they're kind of goofy, kind of funny, but kind of serious, kind of dangerous. So kind of like both here. But look here. This is on this is on a building, a commercial building, a big warehouse. And actually this is a well, a submersible well, meaning the pump is running down into the ground here. And that is the connection. Now, they did a great job. They got the hose clamp here, they got the wire, they got the conduit. But for heaven's sakes, let's not actually put it together. Really? Really? And for one, you think that hose clamp is really going to be enough to actually hold this on here like this for that pipe? Well, apparently not. And look here. And now we got to, and think about this. This is for my well, water, and electricity. They work well together when they're not together. And this is nothing but a big, huge problem getting ready to happen. Luckily, it's not a huge high power, high voltage wiring going through, but I don't even know what to say. What's even worse is nobody even saw it until I got there on the job. So let's look at this one. This was on a crawl space, and he wants to run a wire to a shed. So he just crawled underneath that spot, pushed him a hole in his vent here, and just stuck that wire right out. Now it's just perfect for weed eating, right? So I'm weed eating around through here, and zip up, and I'm laughing and teasing a little bit, but honestly, full disclaimer, we all lost a good brother back several years ago, and I'm not going to mention his name. Actually, he was a lodge brother of mine, and he was weed eating, and the similar thing happened to him. He hit it. The grass was wet, and the sad thing is when he got home, when his wife got home, she found him laying out in the yard, electrocuted, had died out there in his yard from doing this. So, as much as it's funny, it's dangerous, stupidly dangerous. And they did it themselves. They made their own mess. I guess there's what do they say? You can't fix stupid, but you can electrocute it. I don't know. Oh, so here you go. Hey, this is on a furnace. What we just need, and a conduit's all great and everything. Guess we just need to bend it just a little bit tighter. Now, them sharp edges on that metal conduit, that's not going to hurt them wires one bit, is it? No, sir. And when that fan turns on and that furnace and your heating plant, your furnace vibrates and shakes a little bit because you're going to get a little bit, how long do you think it's going to take for it cuts them wires in half? Luckily, I caught it in time. But this was new construction. They just got this done, but they just put this furnace into this home just a few months ahead of time. And that's what they did. They tried to bend it to get this angle in here, and they bent it so much that they broke it. And they left it. They literally left it. Okay, here we go. That's a dangerous one too. Not crazy as the other one where you get you get electrocuted there, but at least in this case, it'll probably just turn off the breaker, hopefully. All right, here you go. See my power head? So this is my wire coming in from this. So give a real quick talk about this is my wiring coming in from the power company outside. And this is my mast. And this is, you see the nail right here? Right there, you can see it right there. This here goes and attaches to that. It just hangs there to keep my wire there. But I guess we just, we run out of time. It's time to go. It's break time. I'll get to it another day. And there it is. Now, I guarantee you, if your insurance company sees this, and especially some of our insurance companies that are good companies, and actually I've even had some of them on my radio show in the past, and talk about different crazy things. They're not going to insure it if somebody else did a half job on it. And I think what happened is they was painting this wall right here. This is kind of how I'm seeing it because of this nasty paint job here. And they just disconnected it and just forgot to put it back together. No big deal. Somebody else will do it, not my job. There it is. And just a real quick fix. You need to fix it before, because this is big wire. This is power coming into your home. This will hurt. So we will continue to move on to the next one. There you go. I just did this one on this inspection here just a few months ago. And this is on top of a roof, as you could tell. And there's so many things happening with this. This wires hanging up here, this conduit just laying right up in here. See my concrete block? They was literally trying to use that concrete block to hold this in place. Instead of literally trying to secure my conduit, they just laid it right on top. Of course, you can see right here that that's not even in the box, right? And my light right here, see my light right here? I guess that's going to show up this corner really, really good here. And you could, and how I saw this, I just looked out the window. I didn't even have to get up on the roof to see it. So everybody saw this happening, and nobody did a thing about it. They just left it. And they thought that was fine. Folks, some of these guys out here, you really got to watch, because that's not fine. Can you imagine being up there on that roof if you ever had any water up there? That would it's not even begin to be safe. All right, here's some big power water right here. I thought actually I had circled this, but apparently my circle had disappeared. So what you got right here is this underground power. For one, it's not deep enough to go underneath the ground, and now it's exposed. And water running down into it. They got animals literally crawling down inside of here. Them animals don't know any better. And of course they gnaw at the wiring. Their babies chew at it. And of course, after they hit it, they're not going to live very long, naturally. But if you're walking across this, and this is actually shorting out, and you're on a wet ground, this was actually on a resort that we inspected up on one of our big lakes here in the state. And so they have. It is really a lot of people walking around. Children are walking around. Dogs and cats are walking around. People, and look here, I got a downspout run right here, so I get all the water I can run right down in here, right into here. I mean, they couldn't have made a bigger mess, and it was just uncalled for. And when we talked to the owner of the company, he said, "Well, I had an electrician, and he's a master electrician, and he said it was fine." Well, I said, well, if that's the case, maybe he ought to have it at his house. But check his insurance first. There's no... here it is. Oh, here's another one right here. So you can see this was actually on a pallet where they plug in for charging up boats. But look at all this wiring right here on the ground again. We talk about being electrocuted, weed eating, animals gnawing on it. And of course, you look at my wiring. It's not even made for outside wiring. It's his interior wiring, not exterior wiring. No conduit going into it, nothing. Just laying right out there on the ground. Yep, just hoping for the best. I don't know. I don't know what to say when I see these things. I know the one thing, I don't want to get very close to it when I'm inspecting it. So you take a shot of a picture of it from a little bit of a distance. All right, so why we kind of picked on the exteriors a little bit. Let's move to some interiors. I think we got some really fun ones on interior inspections. Here we go. Oh, you're going to love some of these. I promise you, these are probably some of my favorites. And we got some of the more boring stuff done in the front. Let's go to this one. Oh, what am I going to do with my extra doorknob? It just, literally, I'm not kidding. I was operating. That's how I found it. I was operating the door, and I was getting ready to shut it, and the handle comes out. Now, this is an antique, an old home, but nevertheless, I think somebody could have figured that out. It still operates. You just got to kind of like put some crazy glue on it and stick it back in the hole and hope for the best. But it fell off in my hands. That should actually go along with a stupid contractor award. Here you go. I like this one right here. So what we want to do is we want to shut the airflow off of our air vents. Well, see that little flapper right here? That's just for louver, so I'll turn it on and off. This is in the basement. Oh, let's not do that. I don't even know what that lever's for. I don't even know what them louvers are for. I'm just going to stick a trash bag inside of it, and that'll fix it. And honestly, it did fix it. but I don't know that I'd call that professionally done. And if it is, I think I'd want some money back. But that's not near as good as this next one, because this next one's even being more fun, because this guy really thought he was a carpenter. And you know what they say about painters, a little putty, a little paint makes a carpenter what he ain't. It ain't fixing them set of stairs. Look at that, going down into the basement. Look at this. What in the world? Actually, I was scared to walk them steps. He patched that up there. He patched this. He fixed that. But he didn't do anything with these others. It's falling down. It's even broke right in through here. This was one building that I told the buyers there was so many things wrong with it. I said this was one, is not a fixer-upper. We call this a blower-upper, because this is the kind of quality he had all over. Oh, here's one more picture. Same house, same house. You're going to like this. Sometimes I think these guys do drugs. I think they're doing good drugs because they're standing on their head. No, I did not take this picture on my head. I literally took this picture. There it is. There's the floor. That's not the ceiling. They put my door upside down. Upside down. I guess if you're walking on the ceiling, that's perfect. But upside down, and this is coming from the basement. There's my basement steps right here. That same carpenter did this same work. He was definitely a whiz bang. And look here, right through here, you can see that he just was all wet, and it's an internal door to a basement. Now, how long do you think that? Well, you can see the mold already growing on it. So you can see that it's deteriorating. It's a hollow core door. It's an interior door. It's already falling apart, upside down. I think these guys must go home laughing their rear ends off that somebody actually paid them to do this. All right, oh yes, okay, just even gets better. Here you go. All I had to do was connect this heat duct pipe to this heat duct pipe. But must have been break time again. We had to take a break, and we'll get to it later. Somebody else will get to it, not my job. And they couldn't understand. They asked me, Troy, we're not getting good airflow coming through here. Would you take a look at our job for us? Because somehow we're just not getting, and this is actually a commercial building. So they paid pretty good dollars for getting this heat plant put in, this air handler in. And look at this. That's all it took was to put this in and put a couple of screws in it to hold it together. But no, they just literally left it. Now, I guess the airflow can just kind of, it does get a little bit, but there, who knows what kind of varmints are living inside this heat duct right now. But I put it like this. I didn't know, and I wasn't sticking my hand in it to find out. This is just, we're laughing about these things, but it really isn't funny as much as it is stupid and dangerous, because we're paying good money and you're trusting people to do this. This is why we get hired to do construction inspections all the time. All right, so we're moving on to support systems. Support systems. All right, this is some of the crazies that we saw on the support system. Now, this is a crawl space. And look here, I got my boards here, trying just to support these beams up here, but because it was too long a span and it was sagging horribly. And then they couldn't understand why it was falling. Well, this one here was not plumb, so naturally it's falling, and all of them, but hey, instead of actually fixing it right, let's just put one beside it and make it not plumb also. So that's not going to hold any better. And this one here is just, it's already cracked. Look at it, but they did it all the way down, thinking that, folks, that's why plumb is designed. You have to have your materials plumb, straight up and down. It's a simple matter of physics. This is a simple matter of stupidity. And these people got all pissy with me whenever I told the homeowners, I said, this isn't right. Well, I did that. Okay, well, yeah, you need to wear a sign next time, your stupid sign next time you go to work down there. Unbelievable. Okay, this is a good one here. Oh, this is a room addition. Now, I got me a really nice treated beam that's holding it up. I'm not for sure if that really is a proper pier to sit on or not, but that's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at my shims. Now, do you think that little bit of square inches is holding up that much weight? Do you think that is actually supporting correctly? No, it's not. I mean, I know it's getting good airflow underneath it, but it's sure just not supporting a whole weight of a sunroom, or in this case, a room addition. So look at that. And the funny part was, this is treated. These were not. These were just regular white wood, and well, it'll soon be air wood. Believe me, it'll be gone pretty quick. But here you go. Here's another one. Genius in action. This is what I should call it. Genius in action. Right there. So this is a deck, and it's way up in the air. And my board's just a little bit short. So what I do? Well, I'm just going to take this brace right here, and I'm going to brace this together, tie it together, and that'll be just fine and dandy. Well, I didn't get a good picture of this, but you can see it right here. See how it's literally bowing in and out? It's leaning. That's because that bracket is not designed for that application. You don't stack your wood up like, buy the right size material, or don't do it. That's your deck. You're up here high in the air. That's a long ways down, especially the older you get. But yep, and they thought that was a good fix. Well, I called it. They're not happy. Oh, here you go. Now, seriously, this is not anybody's screw up other than nobody noticed it. We put our steel beams on our concrete. Concrete is a porous material, absorbs water, and when you put steel on it, this is one of the hot areas. Anytime steel's in it or on it, you're going to get rusting. But look here, you can literally see through it. And I mean, you can see this is all deteriorated. This is all the material. It's just all rusted away, deteriorated away. And what do you think? That's holding their house up. That steel beam is partly holding their house up right now. I wonder how safe they would have felt if they would have known this is exactly what was happening down in their home all this time that they've been living in it. And so, hey, this is something always to look at whenever you're doing your pre-inspections when you're looking to buy a property, because that's not a real cheap and easy fix. That's going to cost a little bit of money. Somebody's got to cut this off here and weld another piece on and secure it to the floor. This is kind of serious and very dangerous. All right, I should have put that under safety concerns, which is coming up right now. But I didn't. I just left it as it was. But because we got some of these other safety concerns. Yeah, they're a little bit funny, but honestly, that happens more than you might think. For instance, this one right here. This is my vent, my ductwork to my dryer vent right here, and so it's coming through here. Hard pipe, code. A lot of municipalities. This is code. But look at this bend. Now my lint's coming in and out of here, coming down in through here and out of the wall. Now right in through here, that lint's getting caught up and hung up, and it's building up. And they couldn't understand that. They asked me in this particular application, it seems like we're getting a lot, when my dryer's running, I'm getting a lot of humidity in my home. So naturally, first thing I'm thinking, well, maybe your duct, if indeed you got it, which they do, vent it to the outside, what's obstructing it? This right here is obstructing it, and it's full of lint. Do you know, and which I talk about this in other shows, the number one reason they say, now this is what I've been told, that houses catch a fire is because of dryer lint. It is extremely flammable. As a matter of fact, we use our dryer vent, our lint from our dryer vents, and use them. I store them in toilet paper containers, but you can use them in anything. They're fabulous for fire starters because when they light, and they light hard, they light easy, and they light fast, and they're really, really hot. So keep these bends out of it. This is kind of a safety thing, plus it's also for your safety, a little bit of DIY that you could take care of. And this is really your job to be taken care of, because most of the time you're the one doing it. Now, if you pay somebody to put your dryer in, make sure that they don't have these bends. Happens all the time. All right, so here's my electrical meter. See that right here? And it's falling off the wall. You see right here? Sees my hole? That's where the molly was set in there, and it's just literally falling off. The only thing hanging this on was the power coming down. Well, actually from the underneath it was coming up from the ground in this particular case, and that was the only thing holding this, and it was just flopping in the air. Now, this was above a deck. Do you think how safe that is? I mean, this is high power right here. This is the power coming into your home, and so this is something. This is crazy. and nobody's noticed it. Even the homeowners never even noticed it. You will now. After you seeing this, you'll notice it on yours if you see it. And but that happens. That don't happen a lot, but it happens enough that you want to be really, really careful. All right. Well, let's see what else we have here today. See my joist hanger? See that? And it's just totally rusted away. Now we got a couple of things happening. He put this shim up underneath here, so that he holds this board out, so it's more square, more plumb. I don't know. As long as it's got good bolts on it, that's holding it. But look here, what do you think? Do you think that's actually holding anything? Yes, that's just because it's galvanized metal does not mean they won't rust out. Now, what we did have in the early 2000s is we had a different type of treated wood that we quit using it because of arsenic and such that was in it. So just as we know, our government just blesses us with their massive amount of lack of intelligence. And anytime it seems like when government fixes something, it's even worse. So what they did is, now then this what happened, in this case here, is that they used the wrong type of, you have to use a new type of material, hangers. Double dip galvanized is one of the most popular ones, but there's other systems out there for holding these brackets and stuff up. But this new treated wood that the government's making us use is more caustic than the existing wood that we used to have. So that's how they helped us. They give us something more dangerous. But this is why you need to be looking right in here. Look underneath your deck. If you see this, fix it quick. Your decks are supposed to be holding 60 pounds per square foot. Homes are 40 pounds. So you're expecting to hold a lot more weight, and that's not holding anything. Be careful with that. That is just crazy. All right, now we're kind of going to finish up a little bit here on the show here, and let's do this. I'm going to, and this is my funny ones, just silly, and just silly stuff. And I hope you guys have, I saved it to the end because I think it's just so much fun. Here is my hero flattened out a little bit. John Wayne. Now you know you're at the right place when the Duke's on the job and he's got his gun and he's ready to go. I found this in a commercial building and I thought this was hilarious. Actually, I kind of wanted to buy it and bring it home, but they loved it just as much as I did, so I didn't get to take it home. But the Duke is on guard. So make sure that you run across that, partner, be wary. Oh, all right. Well, here's Mr. Action Figure. He's sitting up on the window and he's guarding it from intruders. And there's no intruders coming through that window. Of course, I got a feeling if most intruders seen the condition of that window, they wouldn't feel safe going through it either. But I found that, I thought that was so cute. I see this kind of stuff all the time, alligators, toys and stuff up in these places. I might just do a video one of these days if I talk my producer Joey into doing it with me, and that is doing one on all the crazy animals and stuff we find on the job that are like that right there. But we see this stuff all the time. And it just puts a smile on your face, that's all. But he's guarding it, and nobody's breaking into this house. That is what we call their security system. Oh, that's great. So anyway, let's do this one here. You know I love these right here. See that right here? So what I did is I got a leaky pipe. And how we fix leaky pipes? We just stick a rag around them. And this guy here, he's smarter than most of them other ones that you saw that was sticking rags around. He put a little bit of foam around it so it hold that rag tight. Yep. And of course, you know how well that held up. Right, At least he used the right foam. There it is. Rag in the hoe. Another one. We see it all the time. It is hilarious. Oh, okay, so we're going to keep on moving here because we got a few more crazies here. Let's see what we got here. You're going to love this one. All right. So his wife told him he needed a chimney cap. So I guess he was just rooting around in the trash and he found him a Jim Dandy one and he just laid it right on top of his stack pipe. This is a stack pipe for ventilation for your drain, for plumbing drain. So he found this piece of trash, laid it on top. It's laying right on top of that vent. So now it's not even getting good ventilation like it's supposed to. He's got this old piece of crap laying up on top of the roof. You know, his wife was so proud of him. Not after she saw it. That was so funny. She got on him big time. What are you doing? Well, it didn't cost anything. Yeah, well, it kind of did. It kind of did, because now you cause more grief. Your plumbing's not draining properly, and that's a bigger issue. So, yep, we just find some stuff in the trash. We'll fix that. Here you go. Here you go. I love this here. I just love it. Well, just use a clothesline. Now, most of you folks don't even know what a clothesline is. Clotheslines we used to use outside to dry our clothes on. Luckily, this guy still had some of this left around here, and he just tied his ductwork up. That's how you do it. You just tie your ductwork up with clothesline. That'll do it. And then you can even dry your clothes on it maybe, huh? I don't think that's a good idea, but maybe. There it is. But hey, look at that awesome knot. He did a great job with a knot, huh? Oh, I don't know. Sure glad I see these things, and I just you could hear me laughing on the job sites when I run across this stuff. All right, here we go. Mike was here. Well, good for you, Mike. What was you doing up on this roof? This was actually, this is a commercial project. And at first I didn't know if it was M-I-K, but that's what it is, M-I-K-E, Mike. Not Mikey, Mike. I guess that way we all know who it belongs to. Mike was here. Now, folks, these cooling fins right here are not designed to put your name on. I think we could just put like over here a magic marker. Something like that if you really got to put your name on this thing. But maybe we're just going to call this HVAC, this air handler, Mike. That's the new brand, Mike. Well, let's move on down to the next one, because they just are just so much fun. All right, so this is what we call a glorified toilet tissue or Kleenex disposal hole. I guess that's what we got stuck in here. We didn't put it into it. We just took some toilet paper or Kleenex and we just stuck it in that hole. I guess that will make sure that nothing gets into it. Really? There you go, right there. What are you doing? I mean, what are you thinking? You think that's actually done? The guy that did this was proud of his job and was bragging about it. And when they got to construction inspection, when he hired me to do this is what I found. I said, come on, you put a cap on it. Probably would have been cheaper than that rubber boot. But this is what we do. This is how we save money. Or this is how we store our old nasty toilet paper. Hey, and by the way, I didn't reach in there to see what kind, if it was used toilet paper or not, or Kleenexes. I kind of just leave that one to your imagination. And my favorite of the last one of the videos, do you know what this is? I bet some of you do. Most of you don't. I found this up in the attic of a home. And this is one of them sticky, where they got where sticky pads and stuff where the animals get on top of it and they get stuck and can't get out. These are all dead mice and dead rats and dead squirrels and been up there. Zoom this in if you can. This is literally, I mean, look at the goo. Look at the goo and the blood and where they oozed out of there all down the sides. You know, and I guess this arrow is supposed to help point which direction it's supposed to drain. These people had a fit when I told them I found that up there, because they was buying the house. And of course, that was something you got to get rid of. I mean, these are dead animals. How long have you left these things up here? Longer than I think any of us want to think about. Well, anyway, folks, I thank you for listening to and watching our crazy videos, our crazy pics on some of the things we find on construction inspections all the time. And hey, hit like and subscribe if you like our show. We'd love to be able to, help other people get to watch these things. And I hope this put a smile on your face. I hope it made you as happy to see this craziness as it did me to put it forth for you folks today. Thank you, and have a great day, and give us a call. Galloway Building Services. We work out my company works through the whole country, the whole United States, man. Hey, though, if you paid enough, we'd probably go to Hawaii, but we don't go to Hawaii yet, but I'd love to. But give us a call. We do commercial, we do residential, construction inspections, buying and selling inspections. And My phone number, 314-520-6655. Thank you, folks. Have a blessed day.
Sponsored by Troy Galloway and Galloway Building Services. GallowayBuildingServices.com.